G'day folks, welcome to this example of play of Townsfolk Tussle. Now I'm halfway through a battle. You can see I've beaten the first two bosses. The first one was probably the hardest. Then I fought Hansy, who was a hooligan. Now I'm about to the third one. Before we do that, we need to get to what is called the town phase. And that is where we go through the steps on this town phase. We draw back up to 3 feats. So I will point out my characters. So here we have Granny Melba and her items that she's acquired so far. And we have Georgie Irongut over here. And he's been really good at grabbing items. He's been raiding barrels and yeah, just finding a lot of items. He's been pretty lucky. So we're about to head to the town phase, as I said. So we look at this board here. First thing we do is draw back. Each character draws back up to 3 feats. And your feats are like your missions. So Georgie's been pretty good at completing his missions. He has achieved 3 of those, gaining 3 points and a lot of coins. That's one of the reasons why he has so many coins. Granny's only been able to achieve 1 so far. She gets 3 more. So first one is singled out, become targeted based on your gear or coins. So it might be like the character with the fewest coins or whatever. If the ruffian takes damage from a terrain piece, achieve this feat. Well, we just did that. I had dynamite, which I did some damage, so that would have been good last battle. And lucky aura. If any townfolk rolls a 5+ on a town event or ruffian action, achieve this feat. So Granny is trying to achieve those. Now Georgie over here already has 2 feats. He's gear deprived, which if a ruffian action causes a piece of gear to be discarded or unequipped, achieve this feat. Land surveyor, end your turn in any corner of the landscape. I figured that would be an easy one, so I've held on to that. And his new one is fight fixated. Purchase no gear from the peddler. Well, I don't think that's going to happen because he's got so much money and he really wants to buy some gear. Not to worry, we can go over to step 2 of the town phase, which is to resolve town events. So each character draws a town event, starting with Georgie. Bottom shelf goods. The peddler decides to offer a discount on her selection of refurbished goods. Keep this card in front of the townsfolk for the rest of the game. Whenever a townsfolk purchases a piece of gear from one of the bottom 2 slots of the peddler's shop, they receive a 2 coin discount, but must roll on a 2 or less. The gear breaks instantly. Okay, so that's risky. I'm not inclined to try that whenever any townsfolk purchases a gear. Okay, so now Granny draws an event, a secret treasure map. So this is kept secret from Georgie, but I'm playing 2-handed, so it doesn't really matter. So keep this card in front of you. The next time you're adjacent to a buzzing hive, reveal it. Until the end of the fight, the buzzing hive gains the following interaction. So if I for 1 mox, for 1 action basically, I will roll the die, and if I roll a 7 or more, I may be able to get an item. All right, so that is done. Now we shop. And the way we shop is we draw 10 cards from the peddler's gear, and we just line them all up in the peddler's shop. And then Georgie has first option to purchase, but as I said, I don't want to purchase. I don't really want to. Yes, I'd get a discount on these items, but I don't want to risk them breaking. All right, Georgie has got so much money, so I'm looking at the most expensive thing. He's also fully loaded. So this is Georgie over here. He has got, he's got his helmet. He's got a really nice fluffy vest. It's a cheap piece of item, but it lets him restore a health point. He's got his sandals, which adds to his movement. He's got a really nice weapon. He's got a heap of accessories. He doesn't need too much more, but let's look through these items. A martyr's wand, which is a ranged weapon, and discard an accomplished feat to deal damage to a ruffian. That's pretty cool. That's very cool, but he's got his big hammer. Exploding cigar, which is an accessory. If an action would cause you to unequip a piece of gear, discard that. Oh, I love that. That's really nice. Discard this. So if a lot of the ruffian actions say discard a piece of gear. He discards that instead, and it does 3 damage to the ruffian. I'm really inclined to take that. Wizard's Robes, 1 max hit point. Your staves and wands gain this ability. Deal 1 damage to a ruffian. Wow. Wow. So look, I can only buy 1 item, so I can't buy everything. But that'd be really cool to have both of those together, because the Martyr's Wand would deal damage, and then the Wizard's Robe would also deal damage. And it's instant. You don't have to roll for it. But can't do that. A Nudist's Sword, plus 2 damage when it's the only item you have equipped, or the only gear you have equipped. Courier Pigeon, you may draw an additional town event card. That's a special gear, so that, oh look, I said I don't want to take from the bottom row, but that's a nice piece of gear, an additional town event. Sharpened Feather doesn't do much. Oh, it's 0 action. Wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Invisibility Cloak, targeting will always skip you as the closest townfolk, unless you're the only townsfolk on the board. Baseball Cap, headgear. Okay, +1 accuracy, that's really good. It'd be great on Granny because she has pretty low accuracy. The Melodic Maraca, +1 accuracy, and townsfolk within 3 squares of you also have +1 accuracy. That's a weapon though, so it's a melee one-handed instrument. Okay, so he's carrying a 2-handed hammer. Or the Psychic's Headdress. For 1 action, reveal the next card in the action deck. If it would target you, you can discard it. Look, I'm going to go with the Exploding Cigar here. So I'm going to purchase that, and that's going to cost Georgie 8 coins. I like that idea. And then we instantly, oops, that's not the, instantly replenish it, and we've got a lucky coin. When you land a critical hit, the attack deals +1 damage. I've only dealt 1 critical so far, so I'm not inclined to grab that. Instead, well, she's got no leg gear, but there's no leg gear here. She has got a pretty cool trench coat, which gives her extra actions. The head strap increases her movement. I might go for some accessories or special gear. What am I? A lot of. What does she want to get? So she's got her. She has no melee weapon, so she's got ranged one-handed gun. She needs a melee weapon, so it's either. Look, I love this. A sharpened feather. It only does 1 damage, but it's such an easy hit. I think I'm going to get this. I know it's a... She can't afford it. Damn. All right, what other weapons are there? There is the melodic... She can't afford that either. Oh, no. Okay, she's got the Martyr's Wand. Let's grab this. This only costs 6. She can afford that. 6 coins. She's running a bit low on coins. Right, so that's... The shopping phase is done. These items are now discarded. And step 4 of the town phase is we enter the fight phase. So once these are packed up and discarded, we flip this town phase board to the fight phase. And we follow these steps. Reveal the next ruffian on the town map. So I look over here and we're fighting Pepin Milkfrog. All right, so Pepin goes up here in turn order. And we locate the Pepin Milkfrog board. All right, reveal the next ruffian, put them first in beating order, place them on the action deck. Okay, I need to find Pepin's... No, that's Penny, sorry. So every ruffian has their own, here it is, their own deck of action cards. And we shuffle those up, and in a moment we'll put them on the display. We then set up the landscape as shown here. All right, so this is the terrain we've got to build on this map. So this is our old monster. We just fought Hansy. Now we'll be fighting Pepin. Now there are miniatures for all these monsters, but I'm going to paint them today. So I've just been using the standees. All right, so Pepin is going to start over here. All right, that's where he is. We collect all the terrain. Some of it's reused. Yeah, we've got a beehive, which is going to be down in the corner here. It doesn't take too long to set this kind of stuff up. We've got a car up there. We have no dynamite, no barrels on this map. What else have we got? Oh, we've got the big house. Okay, so the barn is down there. We're going to have a river now, so let's set up this river. Like so, I believe. Yep, that looks correct. We've got some fences. So we've got a fence there. And we've got another fence, and this is basically at the barrier. Another fence, which might be there, I think. Yep, he's starting there. We have got a trap. Okay, so here's the trap. We have to actually set the trap. The trap doesn't start set up. You have to go to it, interact with it, and set it. And we've got a well. A well also. So we've got to find the well. Here it is. And that can go over there. And then we are mostly set up. The only thing left to do is place our characters. So let's think about strategy. When we place our characters, our townsfolk, on these areas. Okay, so look, Granny is typically my ranged character. Let's also, before I go any further, let's set up the terrain cards. So we've got the farm, and there's a deck of terrain cards for all the terrain you may encounter. So you just basically find, what have we got here? We've got the bear trap, we've got the wishing well, we've got the moat, we've got the old jalopy, no town pond. What else? That's it. So we've got wishing well, old jalopy, put it in order, wishing well, old jalopy, farm, bear trap, the buzzing hives all the way over here, wooden fence, moat, and I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. So, with the map mostly set up, set up the landscape, place the terrain tiles. So what are these things doing? The wishing well, pay 2 coins, make a wish. You might get lucky and get a card. You might restore a health point. The old jalopy for 1 action. You can move it forward until it collides with a terrain piece. All characters in its path take 3 damage. So basically, if Pepin is walking in front of the car, I can try to activate it and get it to drive into him. The rickety farm, okay, if I roll well, the farmer in the farm will take a shot at Pepin. The trap, I want him to walk onto the trap. The moat, I want to set the trap first. The moat, okay, can only be passed via the bridge. When standing on the bridge, pay 2 actions to pull the plug. Water drains and flip it to its dangerous ditch. Okay, well I better get the dangerous ditch ready as well. Where is it? So if I get the... Where is it dangerous? Here it is. So the moat can be drained and turned into a dangerous ditch. Alright, so I'll keep that there just in case we do flip it. Okay, terrain is set up, set up landscape, place the terrain cards. Mark their health. Okay, so The bottom half of the card, you only do that if it is the final boss battle. It's not, so we now flip him over in a two-player game, and I'm playing two-handed. He has 6 movement and 11 health. His weakness is whenever he's placed in a new location, he takes 1 damage. I don't know if I'll be placing him in many new locations. He will be removed. Oh no, the old jalopy will. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that'll relocate him, but that's his weakness anyway. He's a troublemaker. All right, so this is a 3rd level of difficulty, which means that at the start of his turn, he does 1 damage to all townsfolk within 5 squares. Ouch. I definitely want to use my Rudy Tutor at range. I don't want to get too close to him. That's interesting. So I kind of want to lure him towards a trap, lure him in front of the old jalopy, things like that. In fact, that might be one of the first things that I do. So I've got to set up my gear. What am I going to do? So these are the accessories that Georgie has. I like the idea of starting with the soda pop. He can discard this to take an additional turn. All right, so I'm going to start with that setup. It just gives him an extra turn, basically. He's also a very fast mover. I should set up. Where does he start? We can start 1, 2, 3 there. Granny might start in front of the ditch here and make a run for it. We have to sort out, now that we've got all our items set up, we work out our starting attributes. Health is pretty much fixed. He's got +2 movement, +1 movement, so that's +3. What else? All townsfolk have another +1 movement, so Georgie's up to 8, Granny's up to 5. She has a trench coat, which gives her +2 actions. It's not great on her. She's only accomplished 1 feat. But, you know, it's a one-off. We'll give it a go anyway, see what happens. So that's the one she's aiming for. Ruffian taking damage. We'll see what else happens. And what was her event again? The next time you're adjacent to a buzzing hive, reveal it. Okay, so she's going to try and get to that buzzing hive maybe, and try and dig a small hole and find a piece of gear. I think we're mostly set up now, so what else do we have to do? All townsfolk can mark the ruffian's health, movement and abilities, then begin the fight. So we start with the ruffian's turn. I have shuffled these cards. We're good to go. We draw the top card and they target the weakest townsfolk. Well, that will be Georgie, right in front of him. He's going to move towards the target. If he reaches them, so he just moves towards Georgie. If he reaches George, which he has, we trigger the after effect. Pepin chomps down on the target, attempting to swallow them whole. The target may discard an equipped piece of gear to slip away. All right, so he's going to... damn, I should have had my cigar. He's going to discard an equipped piece of gear. I am going to discard my sandals. So when you discard an item, it is removed from the game. Now, if I had my cigar equipped, it would blow up in his face. That would have been good. Unfortunately not. All right, so that's Pepin's turn first. We go in this order. Now it is Granny's turn. Now she is within range. You can. Right, so she's got basically 5 movement. She can go 1, stop, shoot with her. Actually, what the heck? We will discard an accomplished feat to deal 1 damage to him. Right, you can't see this, but I move this up. She's dealt 1 damage with her magic wand, and that is discarded. So she has to actually lose that feat. That's not a problem because she's way behind in feats anyway, and she has no more accomplished feats. So she's dealt 1 damage to the ruffian. She's then going to shoot with her Rudy Tooty for 1 moxie. She's got 4 moxie, spending 1 of those to shoot. Geez, she's going to have to get lucky. She needs a 6 or more, but let's roll a dice and I'll apply the modifiers. That's terrible. So a 2, it's going to miss. It's 2 minus 2, which is 0, but she's far-sighted. She has a special ability. She can add X to her roll, where X is the number of spaces between her and the enemy. So she'll add 4 to it. So it goes from 0 up to 4, but it's still nowhere near the 6 we need, so she misses. And she cannot use that on the following turn. So she's gone 1 movement. 2, 3, 4, 5. She's finished. She's now... Next time you're adjacent to a buzzing hive, reveal this card. It's revealed. Until the end of the fight, the hive gains the following interaction that only she may activate. Now she's got Moxie left. She has spent 1 Moxie. She's got 2 left. She's going to activate the hive, spend 1 Moxie to dig, roll the dice. It's a 7. You dig a small hole and discover some hidden loot. Receive the first item from the peddler deck worth 9 or more coins. There we go. Greased boots. She needs some boots. For 1 Moxie, move exactly 4 squares in a straight line. Perfect. You may equip it immediately. This interaction can no longer be activated. So we discard that town event. That worked out really well for Granny. And she's done. She can't do anything else. Did she roll 5+ on a town event? No, she didn't. It wasn't a town event or ruffian action. So we move over to Georgie's go. He's last in turn order. And he is right next to Pepin, so he can use his, what's called the Dad's Head Hammer. Now this is a horror style of game. Georgie seems to be kind of a dead cow that's been possessed somehow. It's a bit weird. And he's using his Dad's Head Hammer. All right. So it costs 3 Moxie, so all his actions basically. He needs 5 or more. Minus 1. So he really needs 6 or more. There's nothing that modifies his accuracy, I don't think. So he's aiming for 6 or more. That's a miss. So nothing happens. But now, Georgie's main ability is his 8 movement. So he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's right next to that car now. He doesn't want to activate it yet. He does have a Moxie, but he doesn't want to activate it yet. But he's in range. All right, then we get to the top of the beating order again. We draw Pepin's next action. He's going to target the furthest townsfolk. So we count up movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a tie. So how do we resolve ties? Good question. And I don't know off the top of my head. Lowering stats, losing the game, the final fight, frequently asked questions maybe, FAQ. I know there's a tiebreaker rule, but I can't recall. If there's a tie, they roll to determine the target. The lowest roll is targeted. So Georgie rolls an 8. Granny rolls a 4. All right, well, she has... Well, somebody rolled a 5+ on a ruffian action. That was Georgie. Doesn't matter if any townsfolk rolls a 5+ on a ruffian action. Does that count? On a ruffian action. I think that counts. So she's going to get the +1 accuracy for this turn. She's not going to go for the money. Oh, Georgie's achieved this, right? A ruffian action cause his gear to be discarded or unequipped. +2 movement this fight, or 3 coins. I think, well, he's got so many coins, so he's going to gain +2 movement for this fight. Has anything else happened? No. All right, so who rolled lower? It was Granny, so she's the target. So he's going to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't reach her. Then place Pepin adjacent to the target, regardless of distance. Okay, now, his weakness is whenever he's placed in a new location, he takes 1 damage. So he takes 1 damage for being placed as a result of that. His after effects is he flattens you like a pancake. The target must take 1 damage or lower their movement by 2. I think Granny will take the 1 damage. She cannot heal for any reason, so she's got to be careful taking damage. All right. Now that's his turn done. Now it's Granny's turn. If a townsfolk starts adjacent to this, they take 1 damage. Oh, Granny, you've got to be careful. All right, let's get moving. She's going to run. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got 1 movement left, but she's going to spend 1 moxie with her geared boots to move, if I can move this up, to move exactly 4 squares in a straight line. So 1 moxie, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then she's going to she's used 1 moxie. She's going to use 2 more moxie to activate the bear trap. So 2 mox, set the trap, roll the dice. It's a 9. Okay, you actually only did 3 or more. She sets the trap. We flip it over. It's now set. If the ruffian moves into the bear trap, they take 2 damage and lose 2 movement. Okay, and she is... Oh, actually, before she did that, she will remove... Oh, no, she's going to keep that because it gives her +1 accuracy. So she can use her gun on her next turn. And then Georgie moves and... Oh, okay, so he can't activate the car yet because the monster's not in the way. The ruffian, rather. But she will... Georgie, sorry, will move to... I think just move around to the side of the car and get ready to ram it into Pepin, hopefully. And that's about it. That's about all that they can do. So, Pepin's turn. They're going to target the furthest townsfolk. It's definitely going to be Georgie over here. They're going to move towards the target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All townsfolk who collided with Pepin take 1 damage, then deal 1 damage to all townsfolk adjacent. That doesn't happen. If any townsfolk own the Milkso limb, no, that doesn't happen. Now, Pepin is directly in the path of this car. Granny's turn first, though. She is going to go... So she would love to contact this farmer, but she can't heal. She can't be healed during the fight for any reason. Her gun has a range of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's going to move closer, spend a moxie to try and shoot with her Rudy Tudor. She needs, let's roll again and see what happens. It's a 5. This could be close. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because of her bonus far-sighted ability, which is just off screen. You can't see it, sorry. She is far-sighted. So that's 9. -2 is 7. She needed 6 or more, so she hits and does 2 damage. 1, 2. Now, whenever the ruffian hits one of these starred spaces, they instantly... Oh, this is annoying. They interrupt and take a turn. Target the closest townsfolk. Okay, can they cross this bridge? Yes, they can. So they're going to target the closest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's going to be Granny. Move towards a target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't quite reach her. If they reach, deal 1 damage. Then they grab the target and chuck them at another townsfolk. Place the target adjacent to the furthest townsfolk. Then they take 1 damage. So I think that only happens. Oh no, he's going to do a tongue fling. So I assume it doesn't say they have to be adjacent. So he's going to fling Granny all the way over to here. That's not so bad. It's not great, but not so bad. That was Granny's turn. Interrupted by Pepin, who got angry. Now it is Georgie Irongut's turn. And he's sitting next to this car, but he can't do much. Can't do much at all. These are his items. Okay. Okay, let's just wait. George is basically going to pass and sit there and do nothing. Passing the turn back to Pepin. All townsfolk within 2 squares, there are none. Deal 1 damage, move Pepin towards the furthest townsfolk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still right in the path of that car. All targets lose 1 accuracy. Damn, okay. So let's reduce their accuracy by 1. And by 1, that's annoying. Now it's back to Granny's go. She cannot shoot her Rudy Tutor. She can... she's way down in accuracy. She could discard this to do a damage. What else can she do? Actually, no, she can activate the car. So let's try to activate this car. She's the old jalopy. For 1 mox, she's going to attempt to send it flying. She rolls the dice. It's a 3. The car won't start. Nothing happens. Can I interact with terrain multiple times on my turn? Once per turn. So I can only interact with it once. What else can I do? Not a great deal. She could try and run for it, but he's kind of blocking the way, which is annoying. So she's going to try and get in position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where she can kind of get around him, hopefully. All right, now it's Georgie's turn. Georgie is also going to try and activate the car, and we need a 5 or more. That's going to activate the car. All right, so move the old jalopy forward until it collides with a piece of terrain or board edge. So it's basically the car. He activates the car. It goes driving straight to the edge of the board edge. All characters, including Pepin, in its path take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Then remove the old jalopy from the board. All right, so it goes flying off the board. We're done with it. And we don't need that anymore. He has taken 3 damage, but this triggers his next outrage, and he draws a card. Townsfolk with the lowest movement, that's going to be Granny, move towards the target. If he reaches them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he does trigger the after effect. He grabs the target by the throat, forcing a full bottle of milk down their gullet. They look like they're having a hard time keeping it down. Keep this card in front of the target and place 2 counters on it. Okay. 2 counters on it. At the start of your turn, remove a counter. When the last counter is removed, you unleash a wave of vomit. You take 1 damage and all other characters take 2 damage within 5 squares. So I've got to keep Granny and Georgie apart now. Lucky Georgie can move very quickly. Granny a bit slower. All right, so that is his action. Sorry, that was his interruption. Now he does his normal action. Target the furthest townfolk. This is going to be Georgie. So he moves down to attack Georgie. Place Pepin adjacent to the target. Doesn't actually move, just place him. Regardless of distance, deal 1 damage to all townsfolk. Oh no, so Granny takes a hit. Georgie takes a hit. He was placed though, right? Place Pepin. And his weakness is whenever he's placed, he loses a wound. So he takes a wound. and he's done. He's only got 3 wounds left. It's Granny's go. She can now, okay, she is going to use her Rudy Tutor. What can she do? She's going to have to try and move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, giving her kind of 2 spaces to add 2 accuracy. On a roll of 9 is going to be a hit. So it'll be 9, 10, 11, minus 3 comes down to 8. She needed 6 or more, so that's a hit. That does 2 damage. 1, 2. Now, she has, plus the 1 from this. With her Martyr's Wand, she can discard an accomplished feat to deal 1 damage to a ruffian within 5 squares, 1 damage to Pepin, and he's defeated. That's how you beat a boss. It was a close one. Granny's down to 1 health. Georgie's down to 2 health. They don't have a lot of health to start with, so it's kind of tough. But now that he is defeated, okay, so all townsfolk may discard any... Oh, here we go. She achieved this. If the ruffian takes damage from a terrain piece, achieve that feat. So she achieved that. She gets 2 coins. All right, that's been accomplished. What did Georgie do? He didn't end his turn in a corner, so no, he didn't accomplish those. So I can discard any of these. I'm going to discard that because this is to purchase no gear. You achieve it. I always want to purchase gear. So I'm going to discard that and become targeted based on your gear or coins. That's kind of a hard one, so we'll discard that. All right, discard unaccomplished feats. Receive 6 coins, so everyone gets 6 coins. Georgie is expertly swimming in money. Granny, on the other hand, kind of struggling a little bit. She's now got 10, which will help. Award 1 townsfolk with ruffian gear. So we find the specific gear that Pepin was carrying. He had a milk-soaked limb, frog eyes, and a milksman's hat. All right, so here we go. These 3 items. And we give this to the person who achieved the most. I'm pretty sure that was Granny. I think she achieved 2 things this turn, where Georgie, I think, only achieved 1. So Granny's going to get 1 of these pieces of gear. We shuffle them up and reveal the milk-soaked limb. It's a 2-handed staff. That's pretty good for her. Range 3, that's much better, I think, than what she's got. Does 2 damage. Yeah, that's a really nice weapon. So she's going to unequip these and equip the milk-soaked limb instead. The other pieces of gear are not captured. All townsfolk restore their stats, so everything goes back up to normal again. Minus the bonuses and all that kind of stuff. Rotate the beating buying order and enter the next town phase. So that, folks, is the full cycle. We go town phase, buy items, resolve town events, do the battle, try and beat the ruffian, return to the town phase. Now, I am up to the last final fight. So whatever the ruffian is in this case will be empowered. They will resolve a special setup, special abilities, special missions, special how to win, and then final results based on how well we did. The idea is you start with your bare basic items and you gradually build up the, I guess, the abilities of your heroes. You can see Georgie here still has his soda pop. He's got a really cool ability where whenever he consumes a consumable, if it would be discarded, which this would, it's instead unusable for the rest of the fight, which means he can bring it back in the next fight. Granny now, like I said, she can't heal, but she's got some good moxie. We could improve her accuracy, that'd be nice, but yeah. And we also get to appoint a sheriff. Now, the sheriff goes to whoever has achieved the most points, which in this case is Georgie. So he'll be appointed sheriff, and I think he may get a special item based on who the ruffian is. But, folks, that is just a quick example of how to play Townsfolk Tussle. Thanks for watching, and Take care.